All right, so I just came from watching The Deliverance on on Netflix. I'm laughing because wow, the third act was so funny, so funny. I can't believe this is called. I can't believe this movie is under the genre of horror. The movie runs for around 1 hour 50 minutes, and yet the last 50 minutes I'm just laughing the entire time. It says here The Deliverance is a 2024 supernatural horror movie. It stars Andra Day. Some familiar faces here like Monique and Omar Epps. Omar Epps, who I know from Doctor House. If you watch Doctor House, shout out to you. And this film, it's basically three films you've seen before. If you're a horror fan, this movie is a mishmash of three films you've seen before. The movie starts off as Hereditary. If you watched Hereditary, it starts off as Hereditary. And then somewhere in the middle, it becomes like The Conjuring. And then at the end, it becomes The Exorcist. I'm going to be vague on the details in case you just want to go watch it for yourself. But meh, it's been a while since I watched something that was Nigeria level, like Nigerian movie level bad. And for those of you who don't watch Nigerian movies, obviously it's not quality cinema, but it's mediocre, but in a way that you're so entertained by how mediocre it is. You're just laughing the entire time, but you're entertained, so it's not unwatchable. It is very watchable, but on a level of haha, look at it, just ridiculing it, funny stuff, that thinks that you should be taking it seriously, but you can't. For those of you who watch Hereditary, this movie has so many similarities with Hereditary. From a creepy child who's doing funny stuff. Like in Hereditary, you had the child who kept doing, yeah, that. And in this one, the child keeps like knocking their head on like the back of the seat or the back of the wall. There's the whole bird hitting a window. In this movie, there's a house painting somewhere on the wall. In Hereditary, there's a house model that looks like a toy or something. In this movie, there's like a troubled child-parent interaction. In Hereditary, it's the same. In this movie, there's sleepwalking. In Hereditary, there's also sleepwalking. In this film, there's family members who nearly try to kill each other. In Hereditary, it's the same way. There's even a scene in this movie where the kid crawls on the wall. Same case with Hereditary. So this movie is like 70% Hereditary. Then it's like 20% The Conjuring. Then it's like 10% The Exorcist. It reminds me of another movie called Exorcist Believer. If you watch Exorcist Believer, you'll kind of see the similarities between this one and Exorcist Believer. In Exorcist Believer, they don't even want to have a priest come and do the exorcism. They're like, as a community of believers, we are going to do the exorcism. In this movie, they don't even want to call it an exorcism, they call it the Deliverance. And the movie also has so much nonsense, stuff that you watch and you're like, this makes no sense. For example, Andra Day, she plays Ebony. So, no, it's funny, Andra Day looks like Taraji P. Henson. So every time I saw her, I was like, is that Taraji P. Henson? No, it's Andra Day. So Andra Day plays Ebony, and Ebony has 3 kids. So, so much stuff happens that is so nonsensical. Like Ebony, for example, her husband or the father to her kids is in Iraq. I don't know if he left completely or they just have been distant because he's in the war. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe if you watched, you can tell me, was it that they're separated or that he's in war and they haven't talked? I don't know. But there's a part where they say, where the kids are like, I'm tired of being broke. But they're living in this huge house and they're eating well and they have poofs. And I'm like, what do you mean you're broke? Look at your house and there you're living. You're not broke. What you're telling me and what I'm seeing do not link with each other. If you are living in a small house, like a 1-bedroom, 4 people, I would understand, but it doesn't make sense how they tell you they are broke and yet their living conditions do not reflect that. Also, the way characters talk to each other, good God. Hey, especially Andra Day's character, Ebony, the way she talks to her mom and the way the kids talk to the mom. Good Lord, I don't know if they're trying to show that that the family is dysfunctional, but it's like every 5 minutes, the amount of times they say bitch. The acting is all over the place. It moves from good to meh to bad to good, meh. It just bounces all over the place depending on who's on screen. I liked Andra Day's character, Ebony. I did. She comes off like, as this like 3D character who genuinely behaves like a normal human being. She has struggles, she has issues, she behaves like a normal human being. Most of the people here behave like normal human beings. The kids are a bit underwritten. They have the black kid from Stranger Things in this film. The kids are underwritten, but Andra Day's character and the mom are a bit more 3D-ish. They behave a bit like people I've met before, you know? But so much stuff in the film does not make sense, makes no sense. Like there's this one scene where Ebony, Andra Day's character, is the kid, her kid is in hospital. She's sneaking into the hospital to rescue the kid. And she's walking around like, hey y'all, like dressed in a nurse's uniform. And she's like, hey y'all, saying hi to the other nurses. And I'm like, nobody knows you. Why are you attracting attention to yourself? She puts this kid in a wheelchair and just wheels him out the front door. Are there no guards at this door? You can clearly tell that the movie is going for the whole strong, independent woman, don't need no man type vibe, because the movie is mostly 90% a female cast. I think the only one man that was there was Omar Epps, and he's just simping for Andra Day's mom. Andra Day's mom. The older lady who plays Andra Day's mom. Oh boy, I won't lie. I was heavily entertained with how funny the movie is. The movie thinks I'm going to take it seriously as a horror movie, but I can't. It's so silly. It's especially the third act. I was laughing the entire time. Out of 10, the Deliverance gets a 4 out of 10 for me. I would have given it a 5, but the third act tries to be all serious and tries to think that I will actually get scared watching this nonsense. This is like rookie level horror. This is like horror for someone who's never watched a horror. But for me, a diehard who's watched many horrors, this is nothing to me. I was just laughing the entire time. I also hate movies that do the whole "it was the devil." I hate movies that do that. That's why once again I'm going to bitch and complain. That's why a movie like Long Legs doesn't move me, because once you start talking about the devil, I'm already bored. So this movie gets a 4 out of 10 for me. If you've watched it, comment below and tell me what you thought about it. I was laughing the entire time. It was like Nigerian movie bad. But the funny thing is that I actually watched all of it. Typically with such movies, you never expect like real quality from Netflix films. But whenever I watch a Netflix film, like this one I saw it was 1 hour 50, I was like, maybe I'll get bored 1 hour in. I never got bored at any point. But I was just laughing because of how silly it is. Embarrassingly silly in so many places. No originality, of course. It's like an AI wrote the whole script. At some point, the characters don't even have anything to do. They're just living their lives and you're watching them live their lives. But I found it entertaining. I give it a 4 out of 10. I would have given it a 3, but I gave the Crow remake a 3, and this is more entertaining than the Crow. They are both terrible movies. The Deliverance and the Crow are both terrible, but yeah, this one was fun. Yeah, this one was funnier. If you've enjoyed my review, make sure to smash like and subscribe. Tell me if you watched this, and then I'll see you in the next one.